Hey everyone, this is Adam. I'm just going to show you this script real quick that will allow you to import some corrections from a CSV file or an Excel workbook. So in this case, I'll put these links in the description below. There's a gentleman here, I'm not sure how to pronounce his name, Extreme Rain maybe, but he does a lot of audio things but also creates custom Reaper scripts. So go to this link and it's called ReaScripts. Import items or markers or regions from a CSV file. And you can read all about it here and how it all works. He actually modified an existing script he had for me. But if you go all the way down to the bottom, you can purchase this. I paid 200 euros for him to develop it, but you as a business, you should probably buy the business license, which gives you kind of ownership and full-time use of that for about 60 euros, which I think is reasonable. You can also look at the installation of it here. Basically, you can install this extension called ReaPack that allows you to install scripts easily. You can check that out yourself. Or once you buy it, you can just download the zip file and extract it right into your scripts folders in Reaper. And that should work as well. So check this out. That's the website. There are two kind of ways to do it depending on how you have your Reaper set up. So I'm going to show you both of them. You should have SWS extensions installed. That'll make things a little easier. So, two different ways to deal with this in Reaper. Way number one is your book has easily understandable numbered chapters. So in this case, I used markers, and this will work whether you want to use markers or regions for your chapters. I used markers, so marker 1 is just 0, 1 for chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, so on down the line. And this is the easy way. If everything's sequential like this, it's easy. So once you have that script installed, the first thing you're going to want to do is convert all of your markers to regions. If you're already using regions, you're good to go. But there is a nice little action here. If you go show action list and type markers to regions, you can see I have these set up to hotkeys. And it's easy to convert them right back and forth. Convert markers to regions and convert regions to markers. So temporarily, I'm going to change this back when I'm done, but I'm going to convert all my markers to regions, say run. And so now this makes them all regions, and the script will know where to put the markers relative to the region, aka chapter. So now that my script is installed, you can go actions, run the script. Again, you can set this to a hotkey. Import items or markers. I have it set to Shift X. You can set it to a button. I made a little rubber ducky button here just because I thought it was cute. Either way, I'm going to run that, and it quickly brings up, show me where the script is. So here's mine. You can see it's a CSV. Let me bring up the spreadsheet real quick. So this is assuming that your spreadsheet is in this format with chapter, page number, time code relative to the chapter, error, what's the error, and then what needs to be corrected. This is relatively standard. You'll see once we start the script, you can change the script, or you can tell the script where the columns are. So if you have a different format and want to adapt it, you should be able to relatively easily. So if you have a spreadsheet like this, make sure you save it as a CSV, which I did. It's right here. So I'm going to click this to open it. And here's where this is all the fancy stuff, some of which I don't even understand because the script can do more things than I need it for. So is this a CSV separator? Yes. This is where you can change these columns. Where's the name column? Column 4. Where's the position? That's the time code. It's in column 3, and so forth. Now, out of the box, if you have the same format as I used, it should work just fine, and you won't have to change any of these. The only one that you'll need to change or possibly want to change is this one. And it's kind of under this position relative to the region, yes. Is the column the region name, yes or no? Right now it's set to no, and I'll tell you why. Basically because I have easily numbered chapters. If you have chapters that don't have numbers, if you have a chapter called Wednesday and the next chapter is called Thursday, and so on and so forth, or some weird, like a lot of nonfiction, it has introductions and prefaces and forwards, you may want to say, no, my regions are actually named exactly what I want you to look for. And I'll show you an example of that too. But this is the easy version, just numbers. So I'm going to say OK. And here you go. It imports all my markers in red. And if you zoom in, you can see here in chapter 5, there's a click over this word, and I can listen to that and re-record and change if I want. I have my arrow keys set up to just go to the next marker, so I can quickly just slice through all of these corrections and decide whether it actually needs correcting or not, or editing or what. And then when you're done fixing all those corrections, you can either, in your region marker manager, say show me only the markers. So these are all my correction markers. Once I'm done fixing them all, I can select all, delete them. Now show me everything, and then we're going to go up here, markers to regions, and again I usually do this via hotkey, but I'm going to convert these regions back to markers so I can render or export whatever files I need, and I'm done. So that's the easy way. Now if you have some weirdly named chapters, here's how to do that. Okay, here's our second example. This is for books that have differently named chapters than just numerical. As you can see here, this is I mocked this up for an example, but here's a nonfiction book that has our first chapter as the introduction, and then we move into numbered chapters. A lot of nonfiction books have prefaces, introductions, what have you. So my proofreader gave me this, and she named the chapters kind of with her own nomenclature here, intro 1 and 2, etc. So if I save this as a CSV and do what I did before and just try, first I'm going to convert these to markers, convert the markers to regions. And if I try and import this, as you'll see, it puts what should be chapter 1 corrections here in the introduction, and chapter 2 in what is chapter 1, and so forth, because basically the script is ignoring this intro, doesn't recognize it as a numbered chapter. So I'm going to undo that. So the fix for this is to change this field, column is region name, yes or no. I'm going to change that to yes. But before I do that, I'm just going to make sure that my CSV spreadsheet here matches exactly the region names I have here. So instead of intro, I have to name this 00_ introduction. Instead of 1, I have to be sure to name this 01, which means I have to put this little apostrophe next to the number. For those of you familiar with spreadsheets, if I just try and name this 02, Excel is trying to be helpful and strips off that 0 for me. So I have to say apostrophe 02. So now this is named exactly, and that's what that field does. It's telling it, look for exactly this name, and that's what I'm going to import. So I'm going to save that. I'm going to come back here, import the same file. Is the column the region name? I'm going to say yes instead of no. Click OK, and now we're cooking with gas. So these 2 corrections that should be in the introductions are there. These couple that are in chapter 1 are there. Here's chapter 2, and they are there. So that's how to do it if you have weirdly named chapters. If they're made up name or they're anything other than straight sequential numbers. That's the script in a nutshell. If anyone has any questions, I may not be able to answer all of them, but certainly share and we can try and figure it out.